Smartest idea of mine. But we were shooting it at 10 yards, and we put a 3 rounds on top of each other, and on the 4th round we got penetration.
Okay, so tell me, which rounds did you finally get penetration with?
The 4th one.
No, but you tried the same
It took
thing with
4
the
tries for him to get
30-06?
penetration.
I mean, we were literally shooting the same spot. Like, we were just digging the divot out deeper and deeper until the 4th round went through.
Did the 30-06 punch through in 4 rounds?
The 30-06 did not punch through at all.
Yes, that's why I said the 270 had the best shot.
Guess we're live.
Oh, hey.
Yes, we are.
You had to go and say something. You never talk during these chats. You had to say something.
Well, no, because I had the gun channels one open, and all of a sudden it started blaring real loud in my ears, and I was like, whoa, what is that? And I checked, and I was like, oh.
You're like, oh, fuck, it's Raw. He never shuts up.
It's like, what the hell is that noise? Just forget what I just said. We're not live yet.
Yeah.
I wouldn't care if we was or not.
Well, I'll do quick introductions here, left to right, as I see it, since, hey, most people out there don't know who some of these people are. We've got something Tachikoma, something or other.
The glorious Tachikoma.
There we go. You got Nathan from Nathan's Armory.
Hey, how y'all doing, everyone? Sorry I had to run out there and hawk up a loogie. I'm sick, too.
Yeah, we got Bad Company 1911 from Rob.
What's going on, guys?
Then you got me. I'm just kidding. Hey, you got Thin Blue Line, who doesn't say anything.
I just said something, and you complained that I said that we were live.
I know, you rarely talk. You gotta talk more. And, of course, me. No topic tonight, really, just gonna be BSing, so if you guys want to talk about a topic, put it in the Gun Channels chat, and we'll sit there and maybe talk about it, because that's what I'll read, because I have no idea what to talk about. I'm starting to feel a little bit better. I'm about 50%, so that's something, but I'm still coughing up a lung. I am still pissed at the national media and their lack of even talking about these shootings unless a whole bunch of people die, like in the naval yard shooting when the shotgun is used, and then barely talking about the weapon used. I mean, if they want to be fair, they got to cover the shotgun just like they would the quote-unquote assault rifle. Or they should actually really use the quote-unquote assault rifle as they do the shotgun, which gets barely any mention. They're more going after, ooh, the guy had a whole bunch of bombs or Molotov cocktails or, you know.
Are we talking about
hundreds of rounds of ammo?
Are we talking about the incident where they actually caught the kid before he did anything the other day, and they found his?
Yeah, the Montana.
No, that
I think
was
it
in
was
Minnesota. You got the
Oh,
ammo.
Minnesota.
Okay,
Yeah.
so catch me up on the story. What I read was they busted him. He had a manifesto he'd written out. They found at his storage shed a lot of improvised explosives. That the same thing I'm thinking of?
That is the exact same thing. And how this kid got caught, he was noticed by some random guy in his car. You know, saw this kid going into a storage unit and then closing the door behind him. And the guy thought that's really an odd behavior, so he called the police.
Dude, I'd be like, that kid is either got his porn stash in there or he's gonna go smoke some weed.
Yeah, guys,
That's all I would have thought.
interrupt y'all, but there is breaking news that I was just informed of.
What's that?
All right.
Yesterday there was a robbery in Atlanta at a Waffle House where the robber used a pitchfork. I'm sorry, I just read this shit, and
We need to regulate pitchforks.
Was it a black pitchfork?
it was an assault pitchfork. Yes.
What color was the assault pitchfork, and did it have
It
any
had-
sort of like
3.5
handles?
as an assault pitchfork. It was cut down to under the legal length of a standard pitchfork. Nobody did a short poled pitchfork with the BATF.
No one wants a short pole on their pitchfork.
I believe that the legal limit in Atlanta is 3 tines on the pitchfork. How many tines did this pitchfork have?
Nobody needs 4 tines. Needs a 4-tine pitchfork.
Was it a 5-tine high capacity pitchfork?
What I can tell you is the suspect was wearing overalls and a ski mask.
Well, the overalls don't surprise me because you know how all these pitchforkers dress.
You know, there's some things that just immediately evoke banjo music when you hear it. And
Ding, 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 ding.
All right,
So how many waffles did he make off with the pitchfork?
I gotta mention something.
What he did was he actually picked up the entire cash register and ran out with it.
Well,
Why picked it up with a pitchfork, right?
No, I'm assuming he probably just bear hugged it and ran out the door. But
I think he put it under one big old hoss arm like he does the sheep when he catches them, and had the pitchfork in the other hand.
By the way, I do want to mention this technical fact, because it is a fact. If it's got 3 tines, it's a trident. If it's a 4 tines, it's a fork.
Ah, okay. Quark had to get technical on us.
So if he actually used a trident, then the news is misreporting it. But wait, that's not like the news, is it?
But yeah, it is interesting how this person saw this kid go into this place, called, but I mean, let's think about it. How difficult is it once you're an adult and out of your parents' house to keep a low profile and to put stuff together? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it literally only requires the will and basic amount of understanding to go and do a lot of harm to a lot of people. That's what the anti-gunners don't understand is more damage is done with fire than any other thing when people want to make harm.
Yeah, some of the stuff, because they've already got a confession out of the kid. He's 17 years old. Still living at
17-year-olds
home.
fold like a house of cards.
Yeah, he was still living at home, and when they searched the parents' home, that's when they found the improvised explosives underneath his bed. So definitely not the smartest. You know,
and what, like a 180-page written out manifesto of what he wanted to do?
Well, this is what he told police. He was going to plant the bombs in the school, and then as the bombs went off or whatever happened, he was going to be stationed outside one of the exits and just basically snipe the kids as they come out of the school.
If I remember correctly, that's what Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold were planning to do, but their bombs didn't work right.
Yeah, again, no names, but the Columbine kids set multiple bombs, including 2 large propane tank bombs that did not detonate. Their intention was to detonate them in the cafeteria so the upper level of the school would fall on the cafeteria, and then they were going to also be waiting outside as an ambush tactic. But since nothing detonated, their detonators all failed, they went in and just started shooting up the place.
Yeah, that's the other thing he brought up, was that he had studied the Columbine shooting and is going to improve on that.
So this kid probably actually was smart enough, since he studied the Columbine thing, was probably smart enough to actually test his detonators beforehand. So if he hadn't gotten caught, he would have probably done much better, unfortunately. He learned the lesson from the last group.
Yeah,
Studying, make sure your detonators work.
Yeah, and we
It's
had
always
that
good when you.
shooting in Georgia at the FedEx place. I don't know if anybody ended up dying in that because there were 2 people in critical condition.
I haven't heard of anyone dying in it, but that's just another case of someone going postal, basically, in a place where no guns are allowed.
Yep, but again, it was a shotgun that was used.
I love
I
that
have a
because it was a
story.
shotgun, but in the media thing, when they put in the image, like the image of the guy walking and carrying it, he was carrying an AR because all their preconceived
Mm-hmm.
digital imagery had a guy with an AR, so they couldn't change it at the last second.
Yeah, but what they keyed in on him was Molotov cocktails, and then he had a bandolier. You know.
Well, he had the shotgun shells and one of those little cheapy things that you
Yeah, a
can.
little bandolier.
Yeah, I mean it's you go to Walmart and you can buy a shotgun bandolier that'll hold 25 shells, and then
Yeah,
wrap
but
it
that's what
around
they
you.
made the whole thing, and the knife he was carrying.
And he had a knife, yeah. So it's
So
like, okay.
instead of doing the shotgun was mentioned, but it was mentioned in passing. It was a weapon that was used. It was just mentioned in passing. It's been all the time because he looked like he stepped out of the army, or he looked like Rambo is the term they used on the media. He looked like Rambo with this bandolier and big, big knife. Why? Because it was a shotgun.
Well, I hate to say it, but shotgun shells are not 308 on belt. He was carrying a shotgun, not a 60. So I'm afraid he was, and he wasn't he black? So
I
he
have
didn't
no
look like
clue.
Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, and we can't forget, too, what happened in BC. That's British Columbia. For those that don't know Canada, there was a shooting at a lumber yard, or lumber mill, where, if I remember correctly, 2 people were killed. And again, the person used a shotgun. So it's not just happening here in the States.
I've got one for you. This has been about 3 or 4 years ago, but here, this is local for me. This happened downtown in my hometown here. We had, well, this is a two-part story, but I'll make it quick. We had a guy flip out, lose his mind over some stuff, basically. Made some homemade pipe bombs and Molotov cocktails. He drove into the local post office. Like, I don't mean he drove up to it. I mean, he drove his pickup truck through the fucking building. Like, crashed through a wall. Tried to detonate this shit. Hurt a whole lot of people. I think he killed 3 people. That saw the front page of the newspaper the next day and a 10-minute slot on the local news, and that was it. 2 weeks later, we had a gangbanger do a drive-by with an SKS that had a 30 or 40 round magazine in it, and that saw about a week and a half of media coverage from local and out-of-state news. He did the guy who did the drive-by didn't kill anybody, didn't shoot anybody. He did the drive-by, drove off, just shot up a house. That was it. And they saw way more media coverage than the guy that killed 3 people and maimed about 40-something people. So,
Yeah, just that the media pisses me off.
The media is no longer the actual media. They just report what they want and what they don't want.
Yep.
media is the media. They're just not fair news.
Well, they're not the media like they used to be, rather.
They're not a true journalist that reports the news. They're someone who reports whatever gets better ratings.
Whatever gets them ratings and whatever gets them attention.
They got to sell a commercial.
It's pretty much like a. Have you guys seen Anchorman 2? Pretty much that.
I have not seen Anchorman 2 yet. I will when it's like on Netflix or something, but not beforehand.
I was gonna say I waited till it came out on Redbox, and even then I felt like I was overcharged. It was a little funny, but
Will Ferrell is funny at times, but he seems to play the same character in all his movies. So
pretty much.
whether it be Anchorman or Talladega Nights, it's the same character.
Well, it's like if Will Ferrell is starring in the movie, it's not the best usually. But if he's just in a movie, but he's not the star of the movie, he's usually funny as shit. So I don't know
Yeah,
what's up.
there's a lot of movies where a comedian is good in short spurts. Rob doesn't know what to say because I was so short.
No, sorry, my wife was like showing me more on the Pitchfork robbery story.
Ah,
She's over there in a set of coveralls with a pitchfork reenacting it for him, distracting him.
Pretty much, yeah.
well, this is definitely not going to make national news, but earlier this week, I can't remember if it was Wednesday or Thursday, there were 3 robberies on campus of Marquette University. If anybody knows basketball, Marquette's known for their basketball team fairly much because they tend to make the dance or the NCAA tournament. They had 3 robberies on campus, and one person was shot in the hand by the robber. Because, the kid put up, resistance, and they're saying, well, our school is so safe. Your school is not very safe if you had 3 robberies happen in one morning.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't count that as a safe school.
Yeah, and you can't carry on it because it's a no-carry campus.
Well, wait a minute. See, that's the problem. Did they have a big enough sign for the guy to read before he came to do the robbery?
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking what we need to do is add flashing lights to the signs, and that should solve all our problems.
Yeah. Robbers, no firearms allowed.
Hold on, you're also going to have to give out free hooked on phonics.
That's true, too.
Make sure that they're able to read it.
Well, if it's happening at Marquette University, no, Ebonics. Hooked on Ebonics.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I'm just under the impression that they're not seeing the signs. That's what it is. I don't think they're actually intending to break the law. It's just they're not reading the sign.
In this day and age, Wisconsin has concealed carry. And if a kid has the legal right to be able to conceal carry, I still think they should be allowed to conceal carry. I just hate these no firearms allowed on these public campuses.
We need to publicize Colorado. There's Colorado and Utah. Colorado's Supreme Court ruled that students have the right to carry on campus, as long as they're publicly funded universities.
They have the right to carry on campus. Can they carry into buildings?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's some of these places have.
That's one thing I like about one of my local colleges here. Not that I ever went to college or anything, but I used their library a time or two. But they allow their students to open carry as long as they have the proper credentials to be able to carry in the state.
I'm trying to figure out why Rob would be in a library. Were you looking for ghosts in the basement?
Yes.
Because I don't think he can read.
What I was going to say here, there are a couple of campuses that allow you to carry on the campus, just not into any of the frickin' buildings.
Yeah, that's kind of like the way you can carry in national parks, but you
That's
can't
the way
carry
it is.
inside the buildings.
It's also the way it is at Michigan State.
The college I'm referring to, there is one of my friends who's been a student there for over 3 years. He carries in class. So
Yeah, it really is kind of sad how I would say either don't let them carry it all on campus or let them carry on campus, either or. But I mean, the one benefit to that I hate here in Texas is you can't have a gun on campus. So you got people living on campus who can't even keep a gun in their vehicle. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if they live off campus in an apartment, they can't put a gun in their car and drive to class, because if they're caught with a gun in their car,
Ladies
they
and
get kicked
gentlemen,
out of school.
I have more breaking news. I have to apologize for interrupting.
Florida man.
You don't
But-
have to apologize.
What I feel the need to.
It's
I
not
was being
the one.
sarcastic.
What? Hold on.
Who's over-
More news is breaking.
Dun dun dun.
Never mind. I thought this was more involving the Waffle House pitchfork thing. This is something totally unrelated but different robbery. Sorry, my bad. My informant over here is being a jackass.
Did it involve a pitchfork or a Waffle House?
No, it's some dude like committed like 10 felonies at once, but the guy's name is Jack Me Off Mud. The legal first name is Jack Me Off.
What did I miss? I missed something.
Sorry, guy.
I know we've talked this to death, but I always feel it's a valid point that needs to be brought up. If I'm a freaking criminal, and I'm not, but I'm saying if I were a freaking criminal, you know what I'd be doing? Looking for every place that had those no firearms allowed signs.
I don't want to interrupt you guys, but okay, Scotty.
A Hershey Kiss has arrived in the chat.
That one's old. Throw it away.
Well, we
I
had
don't-
DB show up for a second showing off his Bakelite mags.
Oh, speaking of which, we need to let Chris know that they're $30 at AIM. AIM Surplus has Bakelite Russian 7.62x39 mags for
I'm sure he's working right
30
now. But
Is my
Is the
light
New York-
mic working?
Is the New York Post a trusted place for information?
New York Post is better than New York Times.
Well, the New York Post is reporting an hour ago that 11 people with links to Al Qaeda are being questioned in reference to the missing airline. So,
Aren't
Really?
they still on about that damn
Yep.
thing?
so I'm guessing now they're thinking it was hijacked instead of crashed into the water.
Really?
Really, are you asking if the story is true, or asking if they're really questioning people?
No, I'm sure they're questioning a lot of people, and I'm sure they're tapping in on a lot of people too, like us right now. But I mean, this story, the airliner's gone.
To answer his question of why, it's because we're on a list.
Yeah, and
I'm sure we're on some sort of list.
if it hasn't crashed, we're not going to know about until that thing crashes into another building or something and blows up.
Man,
Because you know how big a frickin' 777 is. It's kind of hard to hide.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I'm
Well, that
getting at
plane
here.
is.
We're not going to know about it until it's too late.
I just found it interesting
Yes,
that now they're actually doing something.
Barely, Scotty.
Are
Barely.
you talking about the plane that went into the black hole, according to CNN? Or the-
Yeah, that plane. That's
Yeah.
what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Could it have been a black hole?
Maybe they needed more people in the future for breeding purposes.
What I
Something
find
like that once.
funny is CNN's normally all over this plane crap, but since it's a White House Correspondents' Dinner, that's what's on CNN.
Wait. The plane thing is over. I haven't. Are they really? Are there any new developments or no?
According to the news,
Were you not here 10 seconds ago?
No, my phone keeps dying. So.
Oh, okay. Now, no, 11 people with links to Al Qaeda are now being questioned in the plane disappearance as of an hour ago.
Oh, okay, yeah. Right. Well, there definitely were people traveling on that plane without a passport, right?
To Iranian.
Without a legal passport, yes.
Right, fake passports. That's suspicious. But then what's scary is that when
Actually,
they...
it's not suspicious. You know
Exactly.
how many of those fake passports gets used a day?
Exactly, that's what it's suspicious.
I can't
but
remember
then-
the numbers, but when I heard how many are used per day that they figured out, I'm like, 2 being used on one airplane, that's nothing.
Well, no, that's what they said. That 2 at the same time might be kind of rare. But no, that was the thing, is that they were saying it's so common that when you get on your plane, it's probably someone on your plane with a fake passport, and that's fine. As long as they pat down your 4-year-old kid, that's all that matters. They got to find.
Robbie wants to know if those coffee cans are all full.
No, not yet. Once I start bullet casting, I'll start filling them
Someone
up.
has a serious caffeine problem.
What's that?
Someone has a serious caffeine problem.
Look, when have I ever slept?
That's true.
So if he doesn't have
You're
any
always
problem,
on.
he's got plenty of caffeine. There's no issue there.
No, I don't know how many I'm going to be able to fill this year when I start casting, but I know I'm going to try. Actually, I got one sitting on my desk I'm going to bring home tomorrow, so.
I just gotta say this: you just might as well start mainlining coffee and then start chewing the grounds.
Who says I drink it?
Get him an IV or
I
something.
freebase
Enemas,
that.
dude.
I
It's all
freebase
about
that.
the enema.
Is there any way like to hook your blood directly up to something that can cycle coffee into it, like percolate it and send it right back into your body?
Jeez.
Yeah, you just
Like
do
that,
you
like
do with
plasma
heroin.
removal, but
You
it's
put it in
coffee
the
addition.
spoon, you heat it up, and then you put it in, just like in Pulp Fiction, dude. But it still makes your breath smell bad all day. I don't know how that works.
Not a coffee
What do you need
drinker.
good smelling breath for? I mean,
Yeah, I thought you were
secret-
married.
yeah.
What do you care what your breath smells like?
The secret
you're
for
married.
bad breath is you just keep eating mint-flavored ice cream this all day.
mint flavored
Doggy
ice
shirt.
cream and coffee.
That doesn't do anything for your waistline, though.
No.
It keeps your breath fresh. Then.
That is true. I ain't
Okay,
made me
so-
freaking hungry for ice cream. I know it's the last thing I need.
Okay, so I was reading this story today I found interesting. New Jersey passed a law stating that once the smart gun technology goes on the market and somebody buys it in any state, even outside of New Jersey, that'll start a 3-year timer, and after 3 years, every handgun in New Jersey that's sold will have to have the smart gun technology. You know, the one where you have the wristwatch with the gun.
Oh yeah.
And so this guy in Maryland who had a gun shop was going to sell some of these guns for Armatech. And he started getting death threats, like calls to the shop, on top of just emails and Facebook postings from people telling him they were going to kill him if he sold this gun. And so the best part is he gets drunk and makes a 12-minute video ranting
yeah.
about this.
I watched it.
Yeah, it's great.
He's crazy.
You have a
Comes
link to that
out-
video?
I could
actually
probably
do.
find it.
If
He
you do,
actually
send it to me.
had-
I haven't seen it.
He had his glass of bourbon on the table before he even walked out. Like he went and set the camera up.
And he apologizes. He goes, I'm going to apologize ahead of time. I've been drinking. And he's
Yeah.
smoking. And he's got a wall of ARs behind him with a
And
bottle
he's
of bourbon.
sorry. Well, like today, I just read this article where they're just saying why hasn't this caught on yet? Like, who's putting up the resistance to the smart gun technology? Is it the evil, racist NRA? You know, who is doing it? Like, we must figure it out. So, the whole point is, if you think they're reliable enough, shoot, I might get one. If they were actually reliable enough where they worked 99.9% of the time.
And
they
weren't
weren't
changing
22?
in 22 long rifle?
I'm just thinking like, what? Well, no, I just mean like on a handgun. I just
Here's
can't
my
imagine it
stance
being
on it.
reliable.
Here's my stance on it. Put it in the hands of every single law enforcement and homeland security officer first, and then try to push it on us.
Exactly.
I was-
Yeah. It's just an inferior product.
Called Judge Dredd the movie.
I was just watching a video that G-Webs did talking about how he doesn't like having guns with external safeties. How much worse is it for you in an emergency to have to put a watch on your wrist?
Oh, I would never take it off. I would never take
Who's
it
gonna-
off.
Well, no, I just have
Well,
it
yeah, that's the other
implanted
thing.
in my wrist.
Is it going to be waterproof?
Yeah. Now, see,
Hopefully.
oh well, yeah, I'm sure they made it waterproof. But here's one thing: is you're going to have to wear whatever watch they give you. I know lots of people that are watch snobs. They either don't like wearing a watch or they want to wear an expensive, nice-looking watch. So that's one for like the fashion police right there. Who's going to want to wear this watch all the time?
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact, what's customary to wear your watch on? Your shooting hand or your offhand?
Offhand.
Good point.
Right.
If it looked cool
So-
like this watch, I'd wear it.
Yeah, but I mean, and like I sleep, I
That
take
is-
my
what is
watch
that,
off and
DB?
set it by the bedside. So if
So
I woke
soon
up in
to.
the middle of the night, I have to put my watch on. It's just, it's unnecessary. And the reason I said so, part of the reason I said so in my video is you now have biometric hand safes you can keep your handgun in. If you're scared somebody's going to get your gun, put it in a biometric hand safe by your bed. Only you can pull your damn gun out. Why do you need a watch?
Only you can pull it out? Not really, because those things are pretty easy to break into.
It's total
Oh,
bullshit.
okay.
The cheap ones are. The
But
cheap
Quark,
ones.
it keeps
I
it out
wanna-
of the hands of your. It keeps out of the hands of your kids and your friends' kids' friends. That's the main goal of this safety mechanism.
I
Just
believe
make
it's
sure your kid
StatCon
is
that makes them, right?
below their head.
Yeah, actually, we should boycott the company who made it. Possible? Just, I mean,
Yep.
like, seriously. I don't know if they
It's
make
pretty
any other
easy. They don't
products.
sell much.
Oh, I thought maybe they made other things, you know. But, like,
Yeah,
if they-
no, not really.
Okay. Yeah, because that's not good. That's sellout stuff. I mean, I want a Smith & Wesson Shield so bad, but that safety, I can't deal with it. I could never, worry about my battery on the wrist that communicates with Bluetooth to my gun or whatever, and worry about Bluetooth interference or, come on, it's a joke. You know what I mean? It's a real joke.
And I gotta say this, an EMP happens, and guess what? Your gun is now worthless.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I got rid of my Smith & Wesson Shield just because of that little fucking thumb safety. So
Yeah, I want one so bad, but I'm not going to get one with that.
well, then, and also, I mean, you see in the Bond movies and stuff, there's like some fingerprint reader built onto the grip of one of his guns in the last movie. And okay, I'm sorry, but I have a fingerprint reader at my job. It doesn't work half the time. I got to walk over and help people. Like, okay, move your hand a little to the right. Okay, pinch your fingers together. Okay, now you can get through the door. Okay, I don't want that in a gunfight where you have to hold it perfectly.
Did he even use that in Skyfall?
Yes,
Once. None of his guns had it except for the one that the bad guy picked up and tried to shoot him with. Every
Oh,
other gun he
well, that
had,
was
nobody
just
ever
one
tried to pick up
pistol.
and shoot him with. Just the one he had that technology on for the 5 minutes he had the gun before he lost it.
Oh, God. What
When
can
he
we
was
do?
fighting Komodo dragons in a pit and a bad guy.
I mean, what's next? How about I have an idea. Like we should all get together and do a Kickstarter for this. Check this out. It's a gun safe that you put on your nightstand that's wired, radioed into 911. So that when you call 911, they'll open the safe for you if they think it's an emergency.
No.
Yeah, I saw that.
First,
I
that's
saw
the
that
last
video on
thing you
YouTube.
want is someone else deciding when it's an
Why
emergency.
not? I think it's a great idea. It takes away all the liability for you
No,
as
no,
a
nope.
citizen.
You're close. Here it is. Okay. You got two codes.
Have you ever called 911? They said they will tell you to put your gun away, don't get it out.
Oh, dude. My girlfriend called
Pee
last year.
yourself,
They
tell
had her
them
on hold for
period so you
10
don't get
minutes, dude. They had her on hold for 10 minutes, dude. I mean, so 10
No, you're
minutes
close.
on
I'm gonna
hold.
say, look at 911, where you can get stuck on hold.
You do realize that 911 doesn't have a cop in a squad car that answers, right?
Yeah, no, it's a lady behind a desk, and then
It's
she
a
tells the cop.
lady who's trained to tell the cops where you are. That's all
I
she's
think it
doing.
would be great for the economy, too, because it would create jobs. Like, I would apply for a job like that, Just like, I'll pick up the phone and be like, well, so tell me what's going on. Okay. Tell me, how big is the guy? Okay, I'll open the safe now. Go to your gun safe. I've opened it for you.
No.
That's the future.
What? What?
No, no.
Tell me
The
what
real
color
thing
the
you
perpetrator is.
You're taking potential liability at that point for someone else who could be completely full of shit who's wanting to murder somebody. So no, that's dumb as shit.
No, there should be.
I'm
if, you
joking
open your,
around.
if you don't put a code in when you open your safe, like get your gun, clean it, check it, whatever, If you just do a quick open, then it sends, hey, at this address, come a fucking shitting in a Helen because shit's just gone down. That's
I
the
think in
not the please open my safe is, hey, I opened my safe and I'm needing to fucking use it. Send the fucking cavalry.
think about the black market on this smart gun technology would be like engineers black market like to crack it. You know, like right now with the cell phones, how you gotta
crack the safety features.
you gotta hack this. Yeah, exactly. A cracked phone.
Everything that he just said a minute ago, whoever was talking before you, the better solution would be call 911, put it on speakerphone, and when they hear gunshots, they'll fucking send somebody.
Oh yeah.
That's the equivalent of what you just said, only better. So. Yeah, I wasn't talking about what Nathan said. I was talking about, or I wasn't looking at the screen whenever he was talking about the whole 911 unlock your gun safe thing.
You should always just tell 911 that I have a gun and I'm going to shoot the guy if he comes in. That always sends the cops a lot quicker.
Yeah, they'll dispatch to your house PDQ on that shit.
I just call them up and say that I'm a hot 90-pound blonde white chick, and I think the perpetrator is
who's been smoking for 40 years.
and they'll send someone immediately.
I was gonna say, from the sound of your voice, like they would probably like transfer your ass to mental health.
Oh, I have a special voice that I practice for that call.
Can we hear this special voice?
No. It's only for the 911 operators. Only for them.
Who the hell was it that used to have that photo they always put up at the transvestite?
That was me, but that was only my bathroom. I don't know. I took that down.
Hi, Bob.
Hi. I want to say that I was joking about the safe that's connected to 911.
Yeah, I think DB was being facetious.
Yeah, I wasn't saying that was a good
Yeah, I don't think he was really serious about wanting to call 911 to get permission to get his gun.
Yeah, no thanks.
I never did catch that. I was like, I wanted to say it, but they started going off on you, and I'm like, this will be fun.
I was joking. I'm telling you, I'm ready to do a Kickstarter for the repeal the Second Amendment movement, and you just get it going, and then get it going, man. Get it going. The repeal the Second Amendment movement, so then you can actually know who your real enemies are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, at least if they went after repealing the Second Amendment, we would be on common ground. Because right now all they're doing is, well, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, let's come up with an idea this. Let's do this technology that doesn't even work and doesn't even exist.
Yeah, and they'll tell you straight to your face, we're not taking away your gun rights. We're pro-gun.
And the only way the smart gun technology is going to take off is if it's forced by law onto people. And it's going to be like California right now, where major manufacturers just aren't going to sell guns to them. They're just going to be like, we got 48 other states to sell guns to. We're not going to sell them to New Jersey or California.
Yeah. I know we should check that out. I forgot what did ever happen with California with the micro stamp thing. That was crazy. I mean, it was like every gun company was like, we're not going to sell handguns in California then. And then I never heard about it again.
And they need to stick to their guns where they say we're not going to sell them to their cops either. We're not going to sell, if they could get major manufacturers just to cut off supplies to all police departments in California, let them go back to using revolvers or something. Screw them.
I got 10% on my iPhone left. Trying to come up with some stuff, man. Come on, 10%. Stone Guy, what's going on, dude? What's going on?
What's happening, people? What's the topic of discussion?
Random.
Smart guns. You just missed the smart guns.
I was talking about how I read this article today where this guy in Maryland wanted to sell smart guns out of his shop.
Yeah, I watched your video. That was a pretty good video.
And the New Jersey people are sending him death threats. It's like,
that's just ridiculous. Well, yeah, that's retarded. That looks real good for the gun community.
Well, it's just a few of the bigger gun nuts. Just all it takes is a few of them to
Oh yeah.
be going off the deep end on this guy. I mean, the guy obviously, with the name of his business, threw it out there to where anyone could contact him. So as soon as he went on, I think he went on some show like Nightline or something and said it. So of course, what happens next? Boom! He gets slammed by the peanut gallery.
Well, hell, I guess if he put it out there for everybody, that's kind of his fault too.
Well, and you know,
It seems like he was almost inviting the attention if he went on a news program to talk about how he was going to allow or sell a product that wasn't, very popular.
Well, and you know, if it just was, if New Jersey hadn't passed this stupid law, it would be great because it could come out on the market, it could fail, the company could go under, and that would just be evidence that this is not something people want or need. But the fact is now that since New Jersey passed this stupid law, that it's now become this whole other issue. I mean, whenever you come up with a gun that's a piece of crap and doesn't work, what happens? The company goes under.
Well, here's another aspect for you. What if that guy had I know a lot of news shows and stuff like that and these talk shows or whatever, they'll give you a lot of money for coming on there. What if he figured he could probably make a ton of money real quick doing that by saying he'll sell this product, going on there doing that or whatever, and then, he's like, whatever publicity I get from it, yet whatever, I can still make money off of just the publicity of it.
No, if you watch this video, this guy, he ain't thinking 2 steps ahead. Yeah.
I don't have a whole lot of knowledge on the topic that we're talking about. I was just talking about in general. So.
Yeah, he claims that he's sold their items before the smart gun technology, and he had
Rob, mute yourself, bro.
Someone's echoing your
That's bad company. Mute your mic.
I muted him. Oh, he unmuted himself. Anyway. No, but he basically said that he wasn't trying to do this for profit. He was trying to help bring this to blah, 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 but he didn't know about the New Jersey thing, so he didn't know it was going to blow up in his face like that. And again, if it weren't for the New Jersey aspect to this, it would just be people bringing this gun to market. It wouldn't sell very well, and they would stop carrying it and selling it.
That's a good point. And if it wasn't a mandate, like you have to have this thing, no one's going to freaking buy it. I don't care who it is.
Like solar and wind.
It's got to be so expensive, number one. Everyone knows, machines break. They're not exactly reliable no matter what you get. You could go spend $1,000 on an HK P30, and I wouldn't be surprised if you told me it was a lemon. So, imagine buying one of these things, how expensive it is. You know what I mean? Or SIG or whatever. I've had lemons from everybody. So...
Well, let it get out on the market. Let some people buy it. Let them come back and talk about how it doesn't work reliably. Let them come back and say how it fails at the range. Let us get some honest feedback to where we can point out and go, see, just like with the micro-stamping technology, it does not work.
That's a good point. Like, there should be trials for things like this. Like FDA-style trials where, we want to see a scientific, trial study. You show me these things are reliable. I bet you they don't even do it. They make
let some guy, God forbid, but let some guy try to use it in a self-defense scenario, it not work, get it on camera, and show him getting beat up by a gangbanger or something.
If we allowed FDA-style trials, then the manufacturers would be able to run their own trials and then pick out the ones that are most favorable to them and show those to the governing body, and that's what we use to determine whether it's safe or not.
I agree. That's a bad idea. So, I don't know. That's just a horrible nightmare. It's like sounds like this new sounds like a horrible movie.
Yeah, and the only reason I could think that this gun shop is even considering carrying them is he's probably going to get a huge kickback from the company. And selling the firearms. It's the only reason I think that.
Or certain politicians.
Or he's just a gun shop owner in Maryland who wants to bring a new product to try to sell to his clientele. It's just simple capitalism maybe in his book. he lives in Maryland, where they have some of the most draconian new gun laws on the books. Maybe he just sees this as being the way to the future to keep his business alive. Who
Well,
knows?
these guns are very expensive. They're
Well, then he
Yeah,
can
they're
sell
like
them.
1,200
two
bucks,
two
aren't they?
grandish area, I think, if I remember correctly. And then you
Oh, I
have
thought they were only like 1,200.
Yeah, they're only like
It's like
1,200.
$2,000 with the watch or something weird. It's really expensive for a 22.
Here's
Oh,
the
it's
thing.
a 20. What kind of gun is it based off of? Like a 20? Like a
They built it
22?
themselves, and it's a 22.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is super lame.
Yeah, it's so incredibly
even
lame that it
That's
doesn't have
so
a real
lame.
defense cartridge.
And
You know what?
the
DB?
reason it's 22 is
I
they
could
can't
hear
get
the light
the
bulb going off over your head when you said that.
they can't get the technology to work with a stronger caliber.
What?
Yeah, the thing's all the thing's all plastic. It's not like it's.
You
I don't
gotta-
think it's like a polymer. I think it's actually plastic.
Well, I don't want to give them any good ideas, but I mean, come on, forget it. I mean, I thought for like $1,200, it better be like a
Fucking
Wilson
heat-seeking
combat,
projectile, yeah.
like a Springfield TRP 1911 with like the coolest watch I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why I'm
that's
saying this guy has to be getting like a big kickback. Otherwise, it makes no sense for a gun that he can put on his shelf and with the watch and say it's like $1,600 or $2,000. That's a lot of money for a shop owner to sit on, unless he's got a customer interest in it.
I feel bad for him. Just being an FFL there must suck. So
Yeah, he did complain about he's had to lay off people at his shop. It's his shop's probably going to be going under, that sort of thing. This might have just been he probably didn't know about the New Jersey thing, and this probably is just kind of a desperation thing to try to keep his shop up and running. And then he gets all this stuff hits him with the death threats and stuff, and he realizes now he's going to have a harder time.
Well, you got to remember too, negative press is still good press.
And not if your life's at stake.
I'm about to
Hey,
say, a lot of people are going to look at it and stop shopping at the shop.
Real quick. I'm going to shoot my Mosin tomorrow, and I forget what other than water. What's the liquid that they say just dump down the barrel to
Urine, water.
Windex. Windex.
You
Windex?
don't need
Okay.
ammonia. It's just water.
And it has to be Windex with ammonia in it, or it doesn't.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
no, the ammonia doesn't do anything. The point is just to have a liquid water that doesn't have any salt in it.
To rinse off the corrosive stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right. To neutralize.
That
It's
all
actually
works.
to. And so Stone Guy gets it. It's actually a type of salt. I can't remember what it is. Potassium.
It's a mercury
sodium.
salt.
So
Yeah.
just straight water would be sufficient.
Yeah, because what you're doing is you're not rinsing it away. You're actually dissolving it in the water, and the water then is flushing it out.
Yeah, and you can't use WD-40 or something because these are water-soluble salts, not oil-soluble.
Right.
Okay, I got
Right.
you.
And eat asparagus tonight so that you know
Pee down the barrel.
that you marked your gun.
You know what?
That's what I did. It smells like asparagus.
I
in the
had
19th
found
century.
I found out through personal experience that if the barrel's hot, it works better.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Pour the
because that's the
water
thing.
down.
I'm
That's
I
what
would
she
just go
said.
go to the dollar store and buy the dollar, like a big thing of that Windex with ammonia, the knockoff version, for like $1. I would just use that because I think it really does cut down on. It kills the salt like really good.
Well, no.
Well, you don't need ammonia. The ammonia does nothing.
So why is that what everyone recommends?
Because it's because here's the thing. It's guaranteed not to have any minerals in it other than the ammonia and that blue dye shit they put in it.
Oh, I
Well,
see. So
what
if you
you could
use
do-
water, like a hard water, it's going to have minerals in it and stuff.
Yeah. So what you could do is like if Stone Guy's at like a Brita or something, he could just fill up.
Grab you distilled water.
Huh? Distilled or filtered,
Okay, I've got distilled water, so okay, that's cool. Because I'm gonna be at the range all day, and I'm probably will shoot the Mosin early, and so I wanted to be able to just rinse it out real quick while I was there and not have to worry about it.
Well, look at you taking time for yourself.
Oh, dude,
man, to relax.
Well, after the surgery, man, I haven't shot in like 3 weeks, so I'm taking the kids out tomorrow, and we're gonna like probably pack a lunch and stay out there all day.
Nice.
Sounds
Is this
like
outdoor?
Nice.
I hope.
Yeah,
Outdoor,
outdoor range.
Nice.
Did you get your AK yet?
No, I only got like $200 left to pay on it, so that'll be soon. I should have got it out today, but I was like, eh.
I got a update on my SIG I ordered. They got a shipping label. They haven't shipped it yet, but they got a label.
You got a SIG rifle or a gun? Handgun?
2022.
Oh, cool, yeah.
But check this out.
Yeah, the two-tone.
Yeah, the two-toe one off Palmetto State. But check this out. So I go on Academy's website to order 2 GAR magazines for it. They come in the mail. I open them up. There's a Beretta mag in there and a SIG 226 for 40 cal.
Idiots.
What?
I know. I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, at least one says SIG, but it's the wrong one, and the other one says Beretta. Who's the retard that stuck these together in the pouch?
Didn't I give you a link to the place where you can get the mags the cheapest?
I don't know. I ordered them from Academy again, just because I looked all over and couldn't find them. But if they screw up this order a second time, because see, the cool thing is I can go back to Academy and I just had them refund me right there in the store. They handed me cash back for the full price.
Oh,
So
that's
that is
cool. So you
nice.
didn't have to ship it back to anywhere.
Yeah, I didn't have to jack with all that jazz. And I said I didn't even know that till I read the shipping label. But if you can send me a link to this website, Quark, that'd be great.
I'll actually try to link you right to them. I've used them before, so. It's Great Coat LLC if anybody is interested, but here it is. The mags are $29.95, and I think his flat rate shipping is $6.95.
Okay, that's what I paid with Academy pretty much.
You could also try looking at 44mag.com.
Oh, yeah, I ordered from them back in the crazy days of last year for SIG mags.
I bought from both Greg Cote.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Mag, and I don't know, they're solid places.
Yeah, I like that guy Greg Cote a lot.
Yeah, I think he's great. He
phone a
ships
bunch of
them fast too. They go USPS too. So.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got a quick question for everybody while we're on the topic of ordering magazines and parts and stuff. You guys remember the conversion that Yankee did on his PX4 or PX, whatever it is, the Beretta he's got, that converted it from the decocker or converted it from safety decocker just to decocker only? I'm trying to find a conversion like that for a Beretta 92 or M9 configuration that'll convert it to where it's decocker only. Anybody seen it?
I know it exists. I forgot the version. I think it's the G, but you just call Beretta. I mean, they're decent enough. I forgot if they're in Virginia or something, but their customer service is really cool. So, I mean, you won't be on holds for more than like a minute or two, and you'll just get a gunsmith real quick. I've called them before.
Cool. I'll give that a shot on Monday then.
Yeah, I had that same question, and I was asking about doing it back the other way, like, but this was years ago. I was trying to get a 92G, and I wanted to know if I could switch it out. But, I mean, I think either you send it to them or they'll send you the part. I think they sent Yankee the part in the video. But
that configuration you're saying is a Type G safety? Or
yeah, I think it's 92G. The 92G is the decocker only, I believe.
Okay.
I could Google it real quick, but yeah, I would just call them because
that they designated it. So
yeah, they're definitely gonna. Their customer service is really cool. So I mean, it's not like you're gonna call Italy and be on the phone. What can I help you with? It's Beretta. It's gonna be good to go. So they'll help you. It might not even be done nowadays. Maybe that's something just the PX4 Storm was about, but I'm pretty sure you could switch it out on the 92.
I was just wondering, the 92 M9 series is like one of my top 5 series of guns. So
it's like one of my favorite guns of all time that I've never even owned one. And I had one on layaway, and the idiot at the gun shop was like, he was in the military, and he was like, don't buy this. How could you do this? This is a mistake. This gun sucks. These guns suck. And I was like, can I get my money back? And he's like, yeah, sure. We'll move it to something else. Like, don't buy it. I always regretted it. But whatever. It is like really one of the prettiest guns I've ever seen. You know, it's up there with the top 5 best looking guns in my opinion. What's his name at Wilson Combat? Bill Wilson, I guess. They just started doing a custom shop for 92s again with forgot the guy's name, but he said on interviews that he said like the 92. He always thought the Beretta 92 was one of the most reliable guns out there. You know, he never had a problem with it.
Until the
He used to shoot
locking
'em
blocks break and the slide comes back and takes your eye out.
They fixed that a long time ago. Though. The locking
I know.
block thing, that used to scare me too. But
It's a joke, like Glocknade, you know?
oh no, yeah, for sure. What really used to bother me is if you come over the slide, like I've only done it at a gun shop, just playing around with the gun. If you come up with your thumb like pointed at your face to try to rack the slide, you can kind of mess with that safety. That's why, you know, that's awesome to just have a decocker only on that gun. I definitely want one. I don't know why if they don't offer that right now as a configuration, but
Yeah, I mean, I really like the no external safeties, if at all possible, with the decockers, if it's a double action pistol and not just a striker fired. So I'm excited to try out the SIG when it gets here, because I've never had a SIG before.
I think you're going to like it.
I haven't seen anyone who dislikes them, so that's a positive.
I will say that, at least with mine preferred 124 grain. By preferred, I mean I didn't get brass ejected into my my arm because the Winchester white box or the aluminum case stuff. Aluminum case stuff hit me right in the middle of the forehead.
And that price you paid was what, like under $450, right?
I paid $389 and it comes with night sights.
That's incredible, dude. Like,
Yeah,
those
that's
night
a
sights are
killer
like
feel.
$80 or $50.
Well, see, what I was really thinking about is I needed not a full size 9, but I needed, a 4-inch barrel 9mm, because all I have right now are little 3-inch tiny pocket pistols that hurt your hand, and I have all the big 45s. And I'm like, and I sold my Glock 19 to buy a Kimber, so I'm like, I really wanted that Glock 19 back, but I was looking at it, and you're looking at the full price of the Glock, another $100 for night sights. So you're looking for $600-700 when all's said and done, and I just didn't want to eat that for basically a training pistol.
I'm going to say you're probably getting a better gun than the 19, at least quality wise.
Yeah, I mean, and again, this is not for carry on my person, because I have plenty of other guns for that. This is for at the range when I have my son there to practice with, for me to practice with, for other friends to practice with, just for all around. Because I really was, other day I was at the range and I really didn't have anything for a friend of mine to shoot that they were comfortable with shooting, and if they bring their wife or spouse or something like that, then they just, the big 1911s, a lot of people don't like starting off on those, but a Glock 19, everyone's always loved to shoot the Glock 19 when I've had it. No one ever complains on that one.
Isn't 1911 supposed to be pretty soft shooting though?
It is, but
Some of them are.
It is, but the problem is people's perception. When they see my big giant Punisher 1911, it's designed to look intimidating, and no woman wants to fire it. They look at it and they're like, "Oh my God, that thing is huge. That looks like it'll break my wrist."
I'm going to say this.
Another thing to put it is, as far as a 45 goes, some people just aren't physically equipped to be able to shoot a 45 regardless of how soft of a 45 it is. Some people would be a lot better suited with a 9mm, especially as a starter gun.
I'm going to say
so
this. My
tempted.
experience with 45s is they're a pushing round. They push back at you where 9mm is a snappier round. It wants to rise on you.
I suggest you keep a lot.
I've
You
got a
people with
great
40
example.
cals.
Like my wife loves to shoot 9mm, and she's okay with a 357 mag as long as it's a heavy gun. But if you try and put like a 45 or a 40 in her hand, no matter how soft of a 40 or 45 it is, the recoil impulse and the push, she just doesn't like it, can't tolerate it.
Like I said, it's a mental thing. They just won't shoot it. It's not that they shot it and dislike it. They just won't shoot the damn thing. And then my son, he's smaller and younger, so this is kind of my idea. This is my little Carl gun. And should bad things happen, I need a nice high-capacity 9 for my son to carry. That's
You may end up
reliable, has
liking
9
it so
sights.
much that you'll be like, I want this one. You can have one of the others.
Well, I'm not telling him I'm getting it for him, but, you know, it's a secret. I buy stuff for him, and then I'm like, yeah, it's mine, but I'll let you use it.
Just
That's nice.
We're gonna say, you realize that's a secret. You just put that on the internet, so it's never a secret ever again.
Yeah, it's a secret of my son because he doesn't watch my videos, or he's not going to sit through a 3-hour video. My son's 9. He's got a lot of quit in him. He ain't going to make it an hour into a video.
Never mind. Dismiss what I said completely.
I think I'm going to sit down for hours on end to see what my dad says. Nah, it ain't going to happen.
I'm gonna say, you'll be lucky if he listens to what you directly say to him half the time. 9 years old.
Yeah, he doesn't listen to what I say to his face.
All right, now I'm going to say this one other thing about the SIG. Very difficult to completely strip down because there's one part you have to get right from SIG. It's like a little washer that can't be reused. A little rubber O-ring or something that can't be reused. So a completely stripped down, you may not be able to do unless you order that part.
I wasn't planning on.
Field stripping, piece of cake.
I field strip and clean it what I can get at and then put it back together. I don't have to clean every single part of a gun.
Okay, you're like me then. I don't go to the Yankee level of cleaning.
So I'm a firm believer in polymer does not rust. So just clean the metal parts and kind of wipe off the other shit.
Yep. But that is such a freaking smoking hot deal. I can't, $390 for that gun.
Yeah, that's
you're getting a SIG.
That's incredible. There was such a good deal this week too on just to talk about 1911s. I watched Never Enough Ammo's video. He just got the Remington R1 in stainless, and it's a sweet looking 1911. I'm not the biggest 1911 fan, but this weekend CD&N was doing a sale, and I guess on top of the sale you'd get a $75 rebate from Remington. So they were selling those R1s, the mil-spec ones, the blued and the stainless ones, for under $500. It was like $460 or $470 for the blued one, and like $490 for the steel one. And in his video, you heard him say, like, I think he paid like $800, $700 for it or something. It's crazy, you know what I mean? So that was such a sweet deal. I was so tempted to get one just to say, because I don't have a 1911 anymore, and it's depressing. If you're into that, you might have a few maybe a half hour left to get in on that deal. You got that money, man. I know some 1%ers out there. It's depressing. Not having a 1911 in your collection is like, it's bad. It's like not having a revolver,
I don't have a 1911 or a revolver, and I'm not depressed.
Well, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, clearly.
There's obviously something wrong with you.
It really.
You need help.
It takes that to make you realize that.
It's funny. It's the first time I go get a 1911. I felt like this before in my life. I'd go get one and bring it to the range and start getting failures to feed, or get a stovepipe or something, and just be like, "Oh, you mother! Oh, why did I get one? I want it gone. I want it gone." I just sell it, or trade it in. Because I've never had 100% reliability with my gun range trips, with 1911s. I only had one that did. The best I ever got was like 700 rounds with no failures at all, and that was a Colt Commander. I should have never have traded that away. The one that
you traded that?
Yeah, I got
I was
really
going to say the most reliable 1911 I've ever owned has been a Taurus PT 1911. So that thing straight out of the box, all the way to 6,000 rounds, no failures, nothing, no
Damn,
problems
you got
whatsoever.
lucky.
And then like an idiot, I traded it.
I just that was sucking. I mean, because when if you've seen One Bad Marine's gun, it is such a pretty looking gun too. No one does bluing like Colt. It's just like a blue mirror. It's just such an incredible polish. Anyway. And when I bought mine, it was $780 brand new. It was like a few years ago. And then like within the last couple of years, I don't see them less than $950, $900.
Yeah, I did that with a CZ75B when I bought it 10 years ago or 11 years ago. They were $300 before they really hit the market. I didn't know what I had, and I traded it for a rifle or something. And friggin', that's like my biggest regret of any gun I've ever sold or traded or whatever.
Yeah, I would say probably giving away that SKS that I paid $100 for a guy who was working on my flooring. I owed him $100, so I gave him the gun because he wanted it. But I mean, back then they were still cheap. They were still $100 to get, $150. So I was like, yeah. If only we had a time machine.
I still think we should be buying, like, I don't know why, I'm looking at my screen. I'm at this gun shop online. Strip lowers, everyone here can afford maybe one a month, Like, why aren't we buying strip lowers?
Well, the problem with getting
Like,
the problem.
You talking about for $50, $50,
yeah,
$60?
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Yeah, well, if you weren't being charged enough, a huge transfer.
I was about to say, you need to save up and buy a bunch at once, because if you're paying a $25 or $20, like my FFL charges me $20. I think if I ordered 2 or 3 at once, he'd probably just charge me the $20.
In the last year, I discovered
my rates were 35.
That's funny. In the last year, I discovered this place that doesn't charge any fees at all. And I figured out why, because every time I use them, I would buy something from them. I just feel bad, like they're going to do a transfer for me, and I'm like, oh, what about this box ammo or something? Like, let me get this. Like, let me buy a spare mag from you or something, because you just feel like it's wrong, Like they're doing this transfer, you're so used to paying $30.
The name for that is called good business.
Yeah, where's this at, DB?
It's far, dude. It's like it's like for me it's a good 30-40 minute drive, but it's worth it. I feel like in gas, I added up like gas used, and it's still cheaper to go to them than to
What
drive.
DB is not telling you is you have to have a membership at a golf resort with you to get in.
To get in.
It's called a country club.
You have to have a Black American Express card.
Yeah,
it's made of titanium.
Have you seen those, the metal ones?
Oh yeah, I used to work for a dude who had one of those.
It's Charlton Prescott's.
Have you ever seen one of those
Fine
things?
shooting gallery.
It's like, yeah, dude, I used to have one.
There's
I
a
know.
doorman who checks your credentials before you get in.
I went and got it.
Looks at
for
the
him.
car you're driving.
I went and got it for this dude. It was like more like a friend than anything, and I shipped it to him because it was like he wasn't in town and whatever back in the day. And I remember he was like, "Yeah, open it up," and just ship me the card. And I was like, "All right." I opened it. It came in like a leather box.
Yeah.
It was crazy, dude.
I'll never forget the first time I had to accept one of those, at the store, and a guy pulled it out, and I thought he was full of shit because I'd never seen a metal credit card, and I was like, "What the fuck is this, dude?" I was like, I can't take this. He's like, "You don't understand." And I was like, apparently I don't, because this is a metal credit card. I was like, "Did you make this in your garage or something?"
You swiped it and it worked? I never seen it swiped.
Oh yeah, it swipes just like a regular credit card. No, he was like, dude, and he was like, I don't want to be pretentious, but that's a limitless card. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, there's absolutely no limit. I could charge $100,000 if I wanted to. I was like, oh shit.
You do have to pay it off at the end of the month, though. I think. I'm sure they have a pay over time thing too.
Yeah,
But it's just funny.
that was crazy. That was the first time I ever saw that. I was like, this
I
is
bet
a trip.
But how good of an idea is that? I mean, it's not the... And the only way I discovered this place was because I ordered something from, like, Buds back in the day or whatever, like some website that'll tell you what the fee is at your local... You put in your zip code, and it shows all your FFLs, and it shows you what the fee is. And this one place, out of, like, 20, was, like, free. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Let me try that out. Let me see what that's about.
Now, a lot of times, if you find a little pawn shop, like a little mom and pop pawn shop, they'll do it for $10 or $15 because, you know, they, really, I don't think they know any better, or, you know, it's not really a hindrance to them to just...
They probably think you're going to bring it back there in a month and pawn it back to them.
Right. So that's where I've gotten several transferred into this little pawn shop that I know about. The guy, I think he charges me $10.
That's awesome, yeah.
That's not bad. The pawn shop here, I asked them once, $100. Why?
That's, you can't even fucking... I don't even think that's...
The reason they don't even want to do it, the reason they said that they charge that much is because they'd rather sell their own...
Scare off price, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, sell the guns they have in stock.
Stone Guy, you know the store I'm talking about. It's like the only store in the city of Atlanta. And I went in there I went in there one time and asked them about it, and they were like $100. And then he looked at me and then he got real rude and he said, anything you're gonna buy from them, I could just order you. Why in the hell would I want you to just? Why would I do that? And I was like, well, this is a used thing. You don't have this. I'm buying like a used SIG. Like a West German SIG from like 20 years ago. It's not like you have it.
That dude, one of the dudes, I don't know who it is, but the one guy is always kind of pretentious, and he's said that to me before about ordering stuff, and I was like, well, I'll be glad to order it from you. I said, I like supporting local businesses. I said, but are you going to sell it to me for the same price? Will you price match? And he's like, well, no, I can't do that. This is my price. And I'm like, well, I understand, but that's the point. If you know, obviously, you know, without going into too much detail, I have access to wholesale price lists, so I know what they're buying these firearms for, and I don't mind paying a premium or a percentage for someone to make money. I mean, I understand small business, you know, firsthand, and I know people have to make money, but, you know, I'm not going to pay you, you know, $100, you know, more than I could pay another local business just because your overhead and your, you know, decor is so much better.
Talk about a 1%er store. I mean, in that store, he has like a grand prototype, like sitting on the, like he's got guns in there that are like $30,000.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
For like, you know, for like a single shot. He has like these weird hunting guns that were like
the shotguns are so amazing though, like the intricate engraving and detail on these shotguns. But yeah, they're like $10,000 for a fucking shotgun.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way.
Definitely, and it's really awesome to just go in there. I bought from them before, but just a regular.
I buy ammo just so I don't look like a riffraff going in there. I'm like, I just need a box of ammo.
Actually, their ammo was really good before the shit hit the fucking fan last year. I mean, their prices were really decent on ammo. Even when the shit hit the fan, that guy didn't price gouge. I went in there and bought a huge, like, 550 round box of 22, and everybody already started gouging, and he didn't gouge. He just was like, when they sell out, they're sold out, dude. And, you know, just get it while you can. That was probably like January, like in the middle of January. I haven't seen 22 since, actually.
Yeah, 22 is like a damn pink unicorn, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 22 is now scarce up here. I've seen a little bit of 9mm, but 9mm is almost as impossible to find. And
9mm just came back.
is plentiful.
It just started coming back. I went to the Walmart like a week ago, and for the first time I saw that stuff Edge was talking about like 6 months ago. That Tula brass in like a white cup, and they had plenty of that, and then I was
It's
like,
100 rounds inside a cylinder, a round cylinder.
Yeah.
I was like, that's pretty neat.
yeah.
Because what do we do with our bullets? We're just gonna. Well, you want to dig them out of a jar. I mean, think about it. You know, we pull them out of these paper boxes, and they're such a pain in the ass. It's like, so dig your hand in and grab a handful of rounds.
Yep. I started buying those American Eagle. They look like an ammo can, but they're made of plastic. I think they're 120 rounds for 5.56. They started coming back into Walmart recently.
How much are
last
they?
month. They're like I think they're around 50 something, like 55 maybe.
Is it Lake City brass?
No, it's American. It's American Eagle. It's
Why
federal.
are you paying so much for that ammo? It's
because like right now I could get a can of like 420, I think, for 180 plus tax.
yeah. Why don't you do that instead? Oh no, 180.
Yeah, 180. But that's what
That was-
the stuff for 180 is official Lake City. You know, it's Lake City brass
Mm.
stuff. I don't know. Actually, I never even looked at this other stuff. The one that's American. It says American Eagle on there. I know Federal makes American Eagle, and I know Federal is Lake City, but I don't know what it says on the brass actually. But no, it's more affordable for me at the time. I don't have $200 to lay out, so I'll just buy like a 40. I think
You
I
buy
paid.
a little bit at a time.
Yeah, the 90
Okay.
round boxes were like, I think 40 something, and the 120 was like 50.
So my what I'm curious to find out is, did basically the military contracts get filled back up, and they're not having stuff in such demand anymore because more 223 is hitting the market from Federal in Lake City than was for a long time. So is it just a question of our demand has gone way down, so now it's back in? Did supply increase? Did they increase production? Or did the military stop shooting as much at the Afghanis over the past couple months?
It's got to be, and I would think it's a combination of everything, because how much of these hoarders and these resellers, I mean, eventually the hoarders were like, you know, even they were like, this is enough. I have enough. I have too much, you know. So
Yeah, I guess it's less people hoarding it, so now it's hitting the shelves again. But you know, before that, even it was short in supply just because military was running low on it. So they basically hauled in demands on their contracts. But I guess they've now got all of it back. I don't think we're doing a surge in Afghanistan anymore. So I think they've refilled their coffers, and now it's all going back to civilian use.
But even like the cans that I have were rejects. It even says on there, like, they're not suitable for, like, they weren't suitable for the Army, the Lake City ammo cans that I bought. They're rejects, right? So it's like, there's always going to be that stuff, the XM 193 and stuff, because they won't give it to the troops. It's not
I
suitable.
wasn't aware of that. I mean, I bought Lake City brass in the past. I didn't realize it was didn't pass spec.
Yeah, that's what it is. Is that
that's what the X is designating, is that it didn't pass military spec. If it's M855 or M193, it's military spec. If it's X,
I didn't know that.
it didn't pass spec.
Right. So I mean, I would think that stuff was always available for us, because there's constantly stuff not being they batch tested or whatever. So they're just like, oh, there's something wrong, you know, whatever. I'm sure that. And don't get paranoid. I still feel like if you get the XM193, you're still way better off than, you know, some other
Standard
brands.
bloods.
Yes, some other brands.
Makes it go from the M193 to the XM193. Three rounds that don't pass spec out of 10,000 make a whole 10,000 round batch go from M193 to XM193.
Yeah. See, it's still it's the question of if their highest standard when it doesn't pass is still better than what they produce anyway.
Oh yeah,
For
for
the
sure.
civilian market. So that's I mean, it's not just it ain't gonna go off. You know, it's still good ammunition.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Higher tolerances than what we get typically.
Oh yeah. I love that stuff. I don't care. I mean, that's my favorite ammo for my AR. That would be it. XM193. I have the
It
green
has some
tips.
nice benefits to loading it out in your bug out gear because it is, it is sealed to where you don't have to worry about it getting wet or anything like that, like your normal reloads. And they put the lacquer around the primers, crap like that. So you don't have to worry about it getting exposed to the elements.
And yeah, I mean, I definitely recommend it. I did see a deal just now on like maybe Ammo Man or one of these websites for PMC XTAC. So it's definitely South Korean military. It's exactly what they use. It's like a 65 grain green tip. And it was such a good deal, dude. I just didn't have the money to do it, but I think it was like 1,000 rounds for like $350. It's like damn near freaking AK ammo prices, you know. Now, that's a good deal. I'd have no problem shooting that stuff.
Yeah. Also, Gio's put in something in, and he said overruns also equal rejects. So that's why it gets an X.
Yeah, I actually have some handgun rejects. It's Federal White Box, HST 40 cal. I guess it's for Department of Homeland Security or something like that, whoever that is that carries 40. But it was definitely overrun contract stuff. But it was a good deal.
Well, I got a question for you guys since we're talking about ammo. Favorite ammo manufacturer?
I'd have to say Federal. Just feel comfortable with them.
I would say Federal.
Yeah, even the American Eagle. I had this old fogey one time tell me, he's a 1911 guy. He had like a $3,000 Ed Brown. He's like, oh, I shoot his American Eagle. It's the best. Like, and I was like, well, what's that? And he's like, it's Federal. All their brands are pretty decent, the Federal stuff.
I will say I like the Winchester Ranger, though.
Well, it's always gun specific for me, but I've been staying away from Winchester stuff.
I think the PDX is probably their most high-tech round at this point, so if you're going to go, like, for self-defense, I mean, just in general, when it comes to Full Metal Jacket range, all the way to, self-defense stuff, I say Federal's definitely puts a quality product out there.
Well, Federal does, and you got to remember, Federal also owns CCI.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
22 is covered there.
If they own CCI, then isn't that Spear? No, they don't own Spear. That's
No,
someone else. That's ATK.
No, Spear or someone else.
No, but for me too, it's Federal, just because I've never had an issue with Federal ammo. Whether it be their inexpensive Blazer 22s all the way up to their carry ammo. Never had an issue with anything from Federal.
In the last few years, those HSTs, which stands for HydroShock 2,
Yep.
They have done the best in all the tests I've ever seen from like TN Outdoors 9, the new people, anyone on YouTube, and then in the firearms blogs that I read. I mean, HST is pretty much, it's up there with the best. It's either number 1 or number 2. And then it's them and Spear Gold Dot, but I think I like HST better than better than like a Ranger or something like that. Because you got to think, even these Rangers and stuff, that's all like a few years old. Like definitely older technology. Like the what is it? The Ranger SXT. They say that's pretty much like the same thing as Black Talon. So that's really old stuff.
Well, it's, shooting someone with any type of bonded hollow point is more than likely better than shooting them with a round nose.
And Edge says I only shoot 2 caliber types. That's not true. I had a 45 for a while.
No, yeah, for sure. I really, I've heard people in these chats say before, it doesn't really matter to me. Well, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I want the best. That's just me. I'm a 1%er, so that's why I drive a Lamborghini. and basically I want the best. So.
Well, actually, if you're 1%er, you'd be driving a Ferrari. Lamborghinis are.
You're right. Actually, Lamborghini started as a. I think he started making lawnmowers or something like that.
Tractors. Farm tractors.
Farm tractors.
Yeah, tractors.
So that's really. I look at that brand as like a. It's sort of a peasant brand.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what your maid drives?
Yeah, it's just a bunch of peasants.
Yeah, I look at Lamborghini as the type of cars that, rappers and pop stars drive.
Well, I kind of like the story
maybe
of Lamborghini because
DB probably has multiple high-end sports cars. He probably just drives a Lamborghini when he's worried about having to park by regular peasant people cars.
No, I'm really broke, actually, super broke. But if I did have money, it would be a Ferrari, I must say. The Lamborghinis were always awesome back in the 80s and stuff, but some of the new Lamborghinis are absolutely beautiful. But it is an interesting story, dude, because I think, like, Ferrari at one point was laughing at that guy. I don't know if he fired him or if he ever worked for Ferrari, but he definitely was making tractors. And then I think he tried to get a job for Ferrari or something, and then he was kind of like the underdog.
Yeah, I think that's how it went. I think he tried to get a job with Ferrari, and they laughed at him, and they...
Yeah, and he did his thing.
Yep. Or something happened weird like that, where Ferrari insulted him somehow.
But I've heard, like, Navy SEALs say, like, on History Channel, where they're like, I don't care what kind of ammo it is, because... or what kind of caliber it is, too. I think it was talking about caliber. It was like, because if I put 2 in your heart and 1 in your brain, you're not going to know if it was 9mm or 45, And, hell yeah. I'm sure those people are the elite. Yeah. They're the elite. So, awesome for them. I'm sure they don't need they don't even need hollow point. If they're that awesome, they can just put 2 in your heart like an X-ray machine. They don't look at you like a person. They're like an X-ray vision. They just bam, bam.
I get this same story by people that I talk about, like carrying a .44 Magnum on my hip when I go hog hunting as a backup gun, and they're like, "You can shoot a hog in the ear with a .22 and kill it." That's their reply, and I'm just like, "Good. You can bring your .22, and if a hog charges you, try to get him in the ear with it running at you, you idiot."
Let me know how it works out for you.
I'll try a shotgun there, Peps.
Right. I mean, if a hog is coming right at you and you want to stop it, I've shot a hog with a .45 ACP with actual defense round hollow points, and it was like I was just annoying it. It was like I was poking it with a stick. It was getting mad at me. I had to put 5 rounds into it, and that was after I had broken its spine with a rifle round.
Dang.
Yeah, it just kept crawling away and being. I was like, how many rounds is it going to take to stop this thing?
All right. Now, I do have to comment on...
like Rosie O'Donnell.
I do have to comment on a comment that Greer made. He said Ferraris break down all the time, so do Lambos. That's the reason why new money and old money, own multiple cars. They can afford to have one of their cars sit in the shop for a while.
Yeah, I used to really work for
no rich people have just one car. Come on.
The rich people I used to work for used to complain about their Range Rover like we would complain about like a 1985 like Chrysler LeBaron or something.
Although Range Rovers do have a tendency to break a lot.
Yeah, they would constantly be like, my freaking Range Rover, I gotta go to the shop.
I had a friend of mine, he had one for like 2 years and it broke down at least 10 times.
And they don't care because they feel like it's still big. It's bigger than most cars out there. It's safe and it must drive nice. I've never driven.
Even Top Gear hates Range Rovers.
I would like one of those old ones, like the old style ones. But yeah, the newer ones, I wouldn't waste my money on it if I had money.
Well, it's getting close to the top of the hour, so I'm gonna end up shutting this one down. My throat's getting pretty sore, so.
Well, yeah, my phone has been on 1%, I swear, for like 5 to 10 minutes.
Now his 1%. Phone's a 1%er.
Exactly. That's where it says 1%. It's unbelievable.
So I want to say G-Webs is running what he calls a classy aftercheck, where it's going to be on topic, I guess. So I guess he can't handle the off-topic chats, even though we were on topics almost the whole night.
Dude, watch me go over there and totally get sloppy drunk and curse and yell and like Bob. I'm be like Biker Bob.
Oh, I'll pay you to do that.
I'm out.
So thanks everybody for coming out and watching, and thanks everybody for on the panel for
Hey,
showing
real
up.
quick, Quark, if you mind if I mention mine for tomorrow?
I'll go right ahead.
I'm going to be running a chat tomorrow from 10 to 12 Eastern time. I mean, we don't have really a solid topic, but Scotty shot me a few ideas, so we're probably going to go over a couple of those. But that'd be about it.
Awesome. Night, guys.